Welcome to TechTalk Friday, and Karam, lots of things happening in the tech world. One of the biggest shoes I think to fill is Nazrin shoes, right? Cradle CEO, right?
Absolutely,
And,
absolutely.
and he did a fabulous job, when he took over Cradle and really set it up, right? I mean, set it up for success and pioneered.
Mm,
I mean, many amazing startups, came from that ecosystem, and really,
absolutely.
really, it's almost a year, 2 years now since he left us, and
Next month actually next one is 2 years.
2 years, right? So it's been a shoe
Next
that has
month.
been really hard to fill, and finally they've named a new CEO. You want to talk to us about this appointment and whether you think this would be a good appointment or whether you think she be able to step in to take over Nazrin's shoes?
Nobody in the world, can fill Nazrin's shoes. Yeah. So that's like saying that you want to replace Messi. Somebody can step into Messi shoes. So Nazrin
Uh,
was
Ronaldo
just
would
like
say,
Messi.
Ronaldo would say he
Uh,
can step in, lah.
like Messi also, Nazrin was just out of this world. Yeah. But actually during Yobiyin's time as minister, she recommended that Razif, who was the current interim CEO and also was the COO, to be the CEO permanent. But the appointment was not approved by the Prime Minister's office. Somebody in the Prime Minister's office, which is incredibly short-sighted, and it is what it is. Like this happened. And so Razif has been then interim CEO since then, and then Yvonne Chia, who's the chairman of the board of Cradle, then started a search for a CEO. And they came to this executive called Rafiza Ghazali. She's like in the mid-40s, yeah. And throughout her career, she's been a corporate person.
Yes, I noticed that.
If you look at the background, she has got no entrepreneur experience, and she has got no experience working with startups or in the startup ecosystem. And this is a development agency here. Somebody who's very familiar with this ecosystem says that a corporate background, and they just messaged me before this chat, saying a corporate background is not suitable to somebody who coming to a development agency, and an agency which works with very young companies, correct?
To be fair, she did have a stint in innovation in Sime Darby, in terms of trying to build.
Correct.
Right. So she does have. You look at her CV. She's CFO of an kind of an oil and gas sort of.
Currently, oil and gas company, small one, yeah.
That seems like a tall order, right, to come into technology and innovation. But she did have some innovation with Sime Darby.
Roshan, that's innovation in a corporate environment. It's corporate innovation. It's not disruptive innovation. Yeah, it's not crazy. Idea innovation. So, can she relate to startups at that level? So, of course, Cradle also gives funding at the seed level, and they also give funding now where they take equity like Series A. Actually, it's not just me. The whole ecosystem is going, really?
In government agencies, it's not just the chairman. I mean, these decisions are usually minister. There's a bunch of people. Decision. It cannot be one person. I doubt it's a chairman making the call.
So what I have heard is that, and this is credit to Khairi Jamaluddin, who's the minister of the Mosti, right, where Cradle sits under now. Apparently, the process was started by Yvonne, and by the time Khairi came in, they had already now kind of settled on her. And Khairi didn't interfere to say, hey, I want to put one of my own candidates there. Right. So to his credit, he trusted Yvonne, did the right thing. Now, the ecosystem is actually skeptical though. So Rafiza comes in, she's got a lot to prove. She has got to prove that she can get, she can do the bangra with the people in the ecosystem at the startup level, right? And not just talk about the high and lofty things. I've actually sent Yvonne questions and she hasn't answered yet. First of all, why do you feel that Cradle needs a CEO who has got no entrepreneurial experience, no startup ecosystem familiarity? What do you think that Rafiza brings to the table? You think she's got a bit of innovation there? The only thing I feel is that maybe Rafiza said that, look, all these startups, they want pilots, right? They want customers, and the customers are with the corporate companies. So I can bring the corporate players to the table. Hey, give a 200,000 ringgit contract to this company or these guys and let them solve your problems for you. And if they succeed, develop and do more with them. Maybe that's it.
If you think also about the investment side, Cradle's making investments in a lot of these companies. Sometimes to have a savvy finance person may be the right thing. I'm not one to judge because I've seen people from, like I said, Uber was not something, Uber was not invented by the taxi drivers. It was somebody who didn't drive a taxi. So we've seen so many examples where, the person in the industry may not be the right person, right? Somebody outside may come and look with fresh eyes and bring a whole new set of ideas, right? I think time will tell. And I think the first acid test will be, the first 6 months, 100 days, kind of looking and saying, what will she be doing to come to shake up Cradle, to come and, I think sometimes, Cradle's been giving out money, previously the model is that, but is that the right business model? Can Cradle do more? I don't know. There's a lot of questions that will be answered, right? And maybe Rafiza Ghazali may be the right person, maybe not. I don't know.
I think 6 months too long, 100 days, because the press release from the board, right, said that her immediate priority is going to be to navigate the challenges and evolve with the changing landscape. So somebody who is not familiar with the landscape is being tasked with coming in and immediately navigate the challenges and evolve with the changing landscape. Right. So I'm a skeptic now. Okay, so Rafiza has a lot to prove, and not just me. A lot of people in the ecosystem are skeptical that she's the right person for the job, and everybody will be looking at Yvonne also and thinking, "What are you thinking?" So unless she answers my question, so we'll never know, because she wants to keep it to herself. She thinks she's running a private company or whatever. I don't know lah, right? So
I don't know either of them. I think they're connected on LinkedIn with me. Personally, but I think my belief is always that sometimes experience is not necessarily a game changer. Sometimes the young, untested, and maybe not in this sense young, but some people maybe an untested person in the industry, but you give them the right vision and you give them the right outcome, and then you let them execute. You never know where things will come. So my take is always let a person have a rope. I've done that with my own team. I've tried different people in different roles with no experience, and you're surprised at how a lot of it is passion, a lot of it is that energy and that desire to want to succeed. So I'd love to see her succeed, because I think Cradle needs a leader. At this point in time, I think our entire ecosystem needs leaders. We need people to stand up. To fight status quo, right? I mean, that's what the whole industry is about, right? Because that's what disruption and that's what breakthrough innovation comes from, right? Hopefully, maybe that's what the Cradle board and Kyrie and others were thinking about. Hopefully, I hope you're wrong, for the sake of our nation and the sake of our tech industry. But time is going to be the judge. So, I mean, what advice would you give it?
Short time. Advice. Just one thing. Look, if you say advice, look, Nazrin actually anointed Razif Abdul Aziz to be his successor. Okay. So if Rafiza is smart, she comes in without a chip on her shoulder, thinking she's got Oxford education and she knows it all, she can sort it out. Very bad move, right? So you've got an incredible resource person in Razif, right? Get him on your side, listen to him also, because Razin has been the consummate professional, right? So keep him in your team and maybe together, they can build up Cradle even more so, right?
Right. There you go. That's $100 million Karamjit Singh advice to our new Cradle CEO, Rafiza Ghazali. And, all the best to you. We wish you all the best. I mean, I do. And I hope you will succeed. And I think the ecosystem wants you to succeed.
Of course. Absolutely.
I think you can always, call in people like Karam and myself, and I'd be happy to help you in whatever way and means.
Roshan, don't be.
But yeah, and sometimes skeptics like Karam, are the best support you need to get things going. So with that, TechTalk Friday for you this Friday. Karam, thanks for your input, and Cradle, we look forward to your journey ahead. All the best, guys.
Yep.